we pulled this off of a blog. This was a myth that was on a blog, and the myth was that you need supplements to build muscle. That you need supplements to build muscle.
If you want to sit on the couch and do absolutely nothing, you definitely need one supplement, and it's vitamin S, and you will grow muscles.
Yeah, you get somewhere for sure.
Vitamin S, if you guys didn't know what that means, that's steroids. Super helpful.
No, yeah, this is a complete myth, right? Obviously, there are millions of people who have been building muscle without supplements for, I don't know, centuries.
I mean, how long have humans been around, right?
Millennia, right? Yeah.
I always think of like a blacksmith, a traditional like 14th century, 15th century blacksmith. That guy does not, and I'm going to say a guy because I'm pretty sure there were only male blacksmiths for like a while.
That's all you. That's you, man. I don't know if I agree, but that's you.
Yeah, I just, I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. I'd avoid being a blacksmith at all times.
Or like a coal miner, maybe.
The worst.
Way worse.
But those guys don't have time to have supplements, but they are massive.
Yeah.
Repetitive, high weight, high rep movements of high force over and over and over again, and you are going to get big.
Yeah. So like you said, what do you need? You need that resistance training, right?
It's critical.
Heavyweight resistance training, right? Or, just like reps, hypertrophy training.
Yeah, that's where some of the science is a little bit funky because a lot of strength and conditioning research says that you can do it any specific way. And they're like, oh, hypertrophy is 12 to 20 reps and strength is 5 to 8. And then whatever you want to call it. But really, you lift heavy weights consistently over time and you will get a hypertrophic response.
Yeah. And then the other component is you need to eat enough food.
Yeah. So if you want to refute this myth, right, you need supplements or even excessive protein intake to build muscle. You can look at people who have been vegetarian or vegan that are well muscled.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're really, really, really paying attention to their diet, they're probably in like the 1 to 200 range of protein grams per day.
Yeah.
But even if they're not and they're doing consistent weightlifting and they're just not deficient, they can still get to this like well-muscled looking figure.
Yeah. Now, obviously here we're not talking about like Mr. Olympia level muscle mass. That you do need some supplements for.
Yeah, they're known for their supplements, I think.
But, that's the extreme.
And it always comes into like the word supplement, and people forget that all the time. You meet with someone and they're like, how do I get bigger and stronger? Like, what do I need to take? That's a very like Western philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
What pill, what magic bullet, what makes me not have to actually put in the work to do it?
Right. I mean, I get it. That's what I'm looking for. Just give me the pill.
Yeah. I mean, it'd solve a lot of problems there. Do you think that there is a reason to work out 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 5 days a week, 7 days a week over any other amount of time?
Oh, do I think that there's like the appropriate amount to work out or something like that?
Yeah, or like a minimum effective dose if you want to build muscle.
A minimum effective dose. Yeah. Not one, definitely more than one. Not 7. I'm going to say 3 is your minimum.
3 is your minimum. Okay.
That's what I'm going to say.
I want to argue 2, but I don't think I can justify it.
Well, I hear you because I was kind of thinking that too. I don't know. It's rough. I think for a beginner, 2 could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even if you were trying to just maintain some level of muscle mass that is pretty below your like potential, like if you're okay with being suboptimal for you,
Yeah.
then 2 could probably get away with some of it. But I think 3 is a good general rule of thumb. Because it's
Yeah.
like what you said. You already said about the, you know, destroying your muscle and then overcompensating, right?
Yeah.
But if you go too long, then that overcompensation comes back down if you didn't re-stimulate it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm just wondering if you would the amount of time you spend working out too is a little bit of a variable here, but if I
Mhm.
do my whole body on Monday and then I do my whole body on Thursday afternoon, like Monday morning to Thursday afternoon, am I going to start the whole cycle over again? Or should I do squat and press and then, pull and squat and then pull and press back and forth? There are a lot of different things that can work, but I feel like 3 is the smart move.
Yeah, I mean, 2 could work. You could make it work, but wouldn't be optimal.
No, it wouldn't be pleasant either because then like, oh my gosh, my arms are completely fatigued and they're dead. All right, now I got to do my back.
Yeah.
You're like, oh God, now these 5 pound weights feel really heavy and I'm just running out of juice.
I honestly think optimal is probably either 3 or 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then you're not overtaxing any specific area and you're giving it time to recover in between sessions.
Exactly.
Um, is there a supplement if someone, I think we've already talked about this, like creatine and protein powder are like the super easy go-tos and a multivitamin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was actually just thinking about this again today because I haven't seen the sun for like, I don't know, 10 days now. And I definitely should be taking vitamin D.
All right. So I've been taking vitamin D, and I was also taking a calcium pill,
Mm-hmm.
and turns out the calcium pill has vitamin D in it also. Uh,
Right.
so I just Googled real quickly to make sure that I wasn't taking too much vitamin D with the other supplement. And like I think with the both supplements together, I ended up at like 4,000 IUs or whatever it's called. And when I Googled it, it said toxicity sets in around like could set in somewhere around 5 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't take that D3 supplement. Maybe just use the calcium one because it has it in there. But then I watched this episode of Joe Rogan that came out this past week. I don't know if you saw it, but this guy was on there. I don't remember his name, but he's some sort of doctor, and he's talking about supplements. And they talk about vitamin D because they're talking about coronavirus and it being good for that.
Yeah.
And he says, okay, well, how much vitamin D do you take? He asked the doctor this. The doctor says, I believe he said like somewhere in the ballpark of 70,000 a day.
Oh, shit.
And then Joe Rogan was like, he's like, well, he asked, like, isn't that like toxicity? And the guy was just like, no, not really. He says the only problem with vitamin D toxicity is with calcium, it can cause you to store too much of it. And so if you're overdoing calcium at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
that could be a problem. But he's not, according to him, he doesn't feel like he is overdoing calcium. So he's not worried about it.
Wow. 70,000 IUs a day.
Yeah. So long story short, I went back to taking both of my pills because I figured 4 wasn't a big deal.
No. And I have read a couple of stories about like, they do intramuscular injections and I believe those sit around 100,000 IUs, but they're absorbed a little bit slower. So you go in once a quarter and you get hit with a big injection instead of taking these daily supplements.
Okay. I like that. I mean, that sounds great.
Well, it sounds easy, right? But you still have to get an injection. So, I mean, taking a pill is pretty easy.
Yeah.
It is funny, though, how supplements, aside from protein-specific supplements, can kick in this like muscle growth pattern. Because if you are missing something, there's an enzymatic process that you just don't have and it's not working effectively. So, like maybe you start taking calcium and now all of a sudden, boom, you start blowing up.
Yeah. I've been taking calcium and glucosamine / chondroitin.
Is that for your back?
No, just for my bones and my joints.
Nice.
Mainly worried about the knees, but
Right. We've yet to see the 10-year, I guess we're coming up on it, like the 10 to 15-year longevity career of a CrossFit athlete.
Yeah, yeah. You got to take care of yourself if you're doing that.
It's true. It's true. You should take care of yourself anyway. You know, eat whole foods, eat lots of veggies, and then get your blood tested so you can take your supplements.
I like it. I like it.
All right.
But you do not need supplements to build muscle.
No, you don't. You don't even
You
need
need
extra protein.
No, but you do need to lift weights and you do need a relatively wholesome diet.
Positive in calories, generally.
Yes, definitely positive in calories.
So Doritos and beer, no supplements, and weightlifting.
Yeah, yes.